I'm traveling on the stairway to glory. Wishing you'd come back.
So everybody, this is a special edition of the St. Augustine Tonight Show, which starts in January, but we just couldn't let this story. I wanted this gentleman to be on the show, but he leaves about a week before the show starts, and I said, I cannot let him go. He's so much part of this community for the simple reason that we've had him now. This is, what year is this, your visit here?
This is the fourth one. It would have been 5
Yes.
if we had included last year, but it's been, well, the relationship with the AMP and St. Johns County and the folks here in St. Augustine, which I cannot give enough thanks for the gratitude we have, because this is one of the places we got a little boost with one of those St. Johns County grants in the very beginning, which allowed us to boost our marketing signal at a time when we were just at a very tenuous moment of our evolution.
All you had was a little mouse that jumped through a hoop at that time.
Yes, you might say. You might say. So I'm so grateful for so many reasons to be back here now. I've been really looking forward to it.
So let's go back. The pandemic hits.
Yes.
Oh my Lord, shook the whole world. Still is shaking the whole world. I'm still worried about it. I guess you're worried about it. We're all worried about it. But things are looking better. So now, what happens when you have to reinvent yourself now suddenly?
Yes. You know, there was a lot of struggle in the years before. There was a moment, brief, that I was homeless. I've been broke before. I certainly am also constantly remind myself that there are other people out there who are going through far greater struggles than I have ever known. So trying to maintain that sense of gratitude. But by the time this happened in March 2020, when we'd had the first incredibly successful 2019, we did 46 weeks, 28 cities, all across America. And just doing that is a huge accomplishment. And it meant that represents years of work and the faith of a whole bunch of people who were in it with me. And so, you know, we had families who had their trucks and trailers and had made an investment for the year ahead. And we're 2 months into the tour, and
wow.
The immediate reaction was, we were in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I didn't know what to do next. So we went to the next city we had planned to go to, which happened to have been Richmond, Texas, a little bit west of Houston, a little suburb. It's a place called Dry Creek Social Club. And the fellow who owns the place is a kind man. He opened up his doors to us, and he let us basically move the circus there and just hang out for what we thought was maybe a few weeks, a couple of months. Well, that turned into 6 months.
Wow.
And by the time May happened, you know, I had brought a skeleton crew. Some folks, you know, saw what was going on and they said, we're going to head out our several ways. But some people also didn't know exactly where to go next. So I had a home for folks. We had a home where people could park their RVs, they have power and water. We sort of rallied together. And
circled the wagon.
We literally did, you know. And by the time May happened, we kept thinking that something was going to happen. This is one of the most difficult parts of that time is we have this drive to like get back out there, and it's not that whether we're going to do it. It's how are we going to get it done?
Right.
Fine. What is the challenge? Let us get the stuff done and arrange the pieces and manage the restrictions or the protocols. Do it the best way possible, but still move forward.
Yeah.
And the initial response was May. In May of that year, we started by doing our first live stream, which was a technical disaster. We had never really been a video production house as a circus.
Right.
So we started out with trying to stream it, and then we just switched over to Facebook. But our fans and friends, who we had already planted those seeds of love by actually visiting physically their cities with our real, actual circus show in the years prior, they showed up for us.
I bought tickets online.
And they bought tickets. And thank you for that.
I bought tickets. I bought a T-shirt.
Thank you
for that. I wanted
that.
the circus to keep going, man.
And I am so humbled and grateful for those people who did that, because in those months that followed, and we ended up doing, I promised myself we're going to do one of these a month, and we're going to get better at it, and we may fall on our asses, but we're going to get better at it, and we're going to keep going, and as soon as we're able to open the show again, we will. And we did a lot of learning and a lot of falling on our butts, but we created work for a whole bunch of artists during that time. And we paid all our bills.
Good man.
We didn't miss a single payment on anything. And things got moved, and there was uncertainty. But one thing was never in question, is that we're going to move forward, and we're going to find a way through this.
Right.
So November, actually Halloween, things were looking up.
Yeah.
The end of the summer, we're like, things are going to open again, and restrictions were changing. We were, by that time, August. Something was late August. I'd had
So that was Halloween of 2020.
Yes. Well, by August of 2020, I'd had enough of the mosquitoes in Houston, so we picked up the wagons and we went to Oregon to it. This is another community that we've played before, and I love it. It's beautiful up there in the summertime. And we tried to open the show in October, and we did. And we had socially distanced little pods in the tent, and we sold out a couple weeks of shows, and we also sold tickets online. And by then, Google, this is another huge blessing of this time, even though we sort of fell on our butts like I described, learning about video production. Google is one of those companies that did not suffer at all during the pandemic, but many of their folks are working from home. So the money that they would spend on events and stuff for their people, they had resources. So they bought a couple, it would end up being a dozen different full-on buyouts of the show.
Wow.
This is another thing that helped us ford that giant chasm.
Yes. The cavalry comes in.
Yes.
And you need them. So before you came here, today is December 17th. It is a Friday. Tomorrow is the first show.
Yes.
You have 3 shows going on.
They're sold out.
They're already sold out.
Yes, the whole weekend is sold out already.
Oh, wow. So now what we have is you leave here when? January what?
Well, January 2nd, the show finishes here.
Okay, so that's the last show, January 2nd?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm really excited also. This is another kind of announcement that I wanted to share with you today. It hasn't fully gone all the way through just yet, but Venardos Circus has sought to have a home base somewhere in the country. And while the touring operation is still like the heart of who we are at the moment.
And the bread and butter.
The bread and butter, certainly, that's what we do. We are purchasing some property here in St. Johns County, and so we're going to actually become official St. Johns County residents, which is
my God.
Which is a really I can't tell you what that represents in terms of the hard work just to make that a reality.
That's
and this
enough.
community,
That's enough news that you're coming and being part of our family.
But this community has done a huge. Has been such a blessing, and they truly are. Their tickets that they bought, the people that showed up and wanted to be a part of and experience this thing and have come 4 years, this will be our 4th year. They have made that possible. So, I mean, I'm so grateful for that. And it's such an
accomplishment.
We're
going to have Kleenex, baby.
It's
I
called,
don't have a Kleenex.
It's called winter quarters.
Yes.
They have the old circus times, nowadays, Florida has great weather.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe the heat of summer is tough, but in Florida, when it's cold out in the rest of the country, this is the place you want to be.
Oh, you put solar panels, you can make all sorts of things happen, baby.
Yes, but I'm thrilled that we're going to have a place to put our stuff that we don't keep in the semi. We're going to have a place where we can rehearse and actually assemble shows, where eventually we're going to be able to welcome kids and adults who want to learn and be a part of the circus. I'm looking forward to finding new ways to engage the community and to grow our business in terms of just other ways that we can touch hearts.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So wow, that is
7 acres.
Wow. Oh my Lord.
7 acres.
Man, this is it. Well, 14 if you dig a tunnel under, create a second level, a basement.
It could be, right.
A 7-acre basement.
We're very creative at the circus.
So this is awesome news. After here, you're headed towards where?
Like I said, we're going to take 6 weeks off after here, but we're going to start heading north and west.
Okay.
We're heading through Texas and several stops in there. We're going to be out in Phoenix, back to Colorado, and then up to Utah, Idaho, Oregon, Washington State
Wow.
into the summertime and then come back across.
You guys haven't gone into Canada yet, have you?
We have not.
All
we have
right.
not. But
That's
Canada's a
whole
beautiful
world.
place.
Yeah, it's a Quebec, Montreal, Toronto, and all
Beautiful.
those other
I mean,
towns. Summertime.
Canada has been a huge part of, in Montreal in particular, of the place that young people who are growing up in America and being inspired by circus have been drawn to, because Cirque du Soleil has been such a powerhouse
Yes.
presence. And they've also, it's been different, you know. I think the reputation of American circus has unfortunately suffered from maybe some of its own sort of poor promotion of its wares. Also the changing connection with people have so many different options for entertainment. Used to be the circus was like the biggest thing to come through town all year long. Now we're so connected. You could point to a whole different lot of things, but I think that there's a lot of wonderful parts to American circus tradition, and I am looking forward to, with our little show, it's the little circus that could, and I really believe that you can be small and have a big dream.
Yes.
And your operation can be physically small, but it can make a difference. It can make an impact on your family, your community, and the world in a way that cannot be overstated.
Well, that's what you are, you know. You just bring wagons of joy into town, you know. So you're here, so there's going to be all this wonderful energy, all this family time, all these, you know, like I've said so many times, when I watch the kids in your show, they just twirl. They're so happy. So what are some of the acts that you're bringing in this season?
Well, you're going to have to come and see the show. Excellent. Going into my Mr. Burns routine. We have a couple of familiar faces. You may remember the Acostas, the Cuban couple.
Yeah.
They've become part of my true core company and my family. And we now have, boy, there's some other announcements to make here, I guess. Manny Neal and I have two children. Another baby boy
when
that came
I had
along.
you on my show, which I also had to pull the plug in the pandemic. I was in show 10 when we just had to shut it all
Yes.
down. A baby was coming.
Yes.
Now you're back in town, and there's two babies
There's two
that
babies.
are here.
These are a lot of headlines I'm sorry to absorb at the same time. In 2018, I met a fantastic, amazing woman named Marianne Eves, and she actually makes booze.
Yes, I know.
She's an incredible, you should Instagram stalk her, Marianne Eves on Instagram. But read about her story. But we met each other. I was actually at a distillery. Good things can happen at distilleries. And she was giving a tour of this amazing place that she was really running. And we hit it off, and she is amazing because she's a master distiller in this industry that is filled with old white dudes.
Yeah.
And here she's this beautiful woman, incredibly well spoken and super intelligent. And our paths really just, there's some sort of kismet that's gone on there. And I've done enough bonehead moves and lost enough things in my life so far to know when something extraordinary comes along to grab on with both hands. And so we have started a family, and we've got two beautiful little girls. Andy Lane was born in March 2020, so she's, it's like, is it 18, 19 months now? Can't do the math.
Yeah, that was shortly after my show.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks out.
So, and then also, 18 months later, Billy May, another little girl. She's just a few months old now, almost 4 months old.
Yeah, I saw her with the kids a little moment ago.
And so the four of us are traveling the country. Marianne's work can be done. Everyone's work now it can be often done remotely. So many different industries.
Right.
Marianne does a lot of blending of different, whiskey, particularly. So many of the brands that you see out there today, the label is not actually the person who makes it. Labels will purchase batches from different sources. And then there's a magician, a real artist, who comes and tries to sort of understand the flavor profile they want to match.
Alchemist to keep you young.
So she matches these things. So our house is filled with hundreds of little bottles. So I'm excited also that our new home here in St. John's, Canada will allow us some room to spread out.
Yes.
And but it is an amazing adventure. Anyone who has children must know some of the things I'm discovering. We're only a couple of years almost in, and I have nothing but gratitude right now. A lot of poopy diapers, a lot of not much sleep.
That work,
But
Yeah.
then I look at them, and they're just gorgeous.
Yeah. So now when people bring their kids here, will there be clowns, magicians, acrobats?
Yes,
A little
I
bit
know
of
we got off
everything.
topic there. I'm sorry to
No,
keep
no,
going back
it's
to
fine.
myself, but it was
No.
impossible to resist.
No.
We talked about Manuel and Ilana Acosta,
Right.
our Cuban
They're
incredible
acrobats,
artists.
yeah?
Yes. Part of my core company, and I hope that we get to work together forever. Anyways, they're presenting their amazing signature acts. The hand-to-hand act. This is balancing on each other, and she ends up standing on top of his head at the end, and then they do a drop. He catches her in his arms. They also work on a Chinese pole. They're just hot, awesome numbers.
Yeah.
But we also have the rest of the cast are completely fresh faces that you've never seen before.
Yes.
So Jan Dam, incredibly talented guy, and his wife Ari. They have 2 kids on the road as well, families. Jan presents a rollabola act, which is like a cylinder, and you're balancing a board on top of that.
Yeah.
And that apparatus is on top of a table that's 5 feet off the ground with a small little tabletop, so you don't want to fall off that. And then he juggles. He stacks multiple boards. He does a handstand on the multiple stacks, and it's a fantastic number. He also does a fantastic comedy routine where we draw an audience member. Maybe it will be you. Maybe it will be one of you. Yes. And to do something that they probably never expected to find themselves doing. Ari performs on a wire.
Right.
Call it a low wire act, but it's about 6 feet off of the stage, which is already, that makes it about 8 feet off the ground, but it's right in front of you. And she actually does her wire routine in point shoes.
Oh, wow.
Ballet point shoes.
Okay.
And her little 3-year-old daughter actually brings the shoes out and presents the shoes to her that she puts on for this latter part. It's
That's
so
enough.
cute, yes.
That's enough. You need
You're
to
killing
come
me
to
with
the
cuteness.
circus. You need to come to the circus. So where do we get tickets?
Thanks for asking, Jorge. I thought you'd never ask. So tickets for the circus can be found at, because people can't spell, VenardosCircus.com, which is still live. You can go to liveyourscircusdream.com.
liveyourscircusdream.com.
Yes, sir.
And bingo, there's the
All
ticket.
the information, all the show times, and you can purchase tickets. The tickets are starting at $25, general admission for adults, $15 for kids 12 and under. And then we have some seats that are close up, which you can get for a little bit more than that. But I highly recommend also that you come. We open the doors an hour before each performance, and there's all kinds of fun stuff going inside the tent. You get your circus snack on, you're snapping selfies with your family. There's entertainment that's happening on the stage. There's a whole pre-show thing. And then when the show begins, it's a 90-minute production with a 15-minute just about intermission. So, if it's a 7 p.m. show, get here at 6. And then the show, you're out of here at 8:30, There's multiple shows on Christmas and New Year's, I would point out. So for those of you who have family...
Great Christmas present.
It's a great Christmas present. For those of you with relatives that you might not have seen, perhaps for good reason, for all year long, and you found yourself cooped up for the last however many hours, and you want to get out of the house so that you can all start enjoying yourselves again. This is something that adults and kids, you could bring a date, you could bring your family, you go by yourself.
A lot of people on Christmas go to a movie. Well,
Yes.
come to the circus.
Yes.
Have a 3D experience and come to the circus.
I think you'll have a wonderful time.
Yes. I do too. I do
Yeah.
too. Well, we're going to see someone perform called Lady Beast. So let's cut to see that.
Okay, that's...
So this has been so interesting what we've been talking about. I could talk to you forever about the circus, but now we're going to have our own private little show of someone called Lady Beast.
Yes.
And Lady Beast, you are from?
New Orleans.
New Orleans. So show us your magic trick here.
This is obviously
Yes.
a bottle walking routine.
Right.
Amazingly, Lady Beast is actually able to speak and balance at the same time.
I am.
Do you know where this balancing routine came from?
It is an old world circus act. It's from more of the Dust Bowl era of circus, when there was a lot of touring shows happening, and bottles are cheap and easily accessible, so women cultivated this act.
Ta-da!
Wow.
And here you have some other bottles.
Yep.
Yes.
So my shtick is that I can walk on any glass bottle.
These look like they were bottles of Dom. They might have been.
These actually might have been.
Yes. They're not like glued in place. It's actually the steamer trunk.
Ta-da!
Has wheels on it. There's a lot of balancing skill involved there.
Well, thank you, and thank you.
My pleasure.
Break a leg? Do you say this in the circus also?
I think Break a Leg's great. It works at the circus as far as I know. She actually also does an amazing Houdini inspired straitjacket escape act. She gets a binding around her feet and she's strung up, hanging above the audience's heads here, and she gets out of the straitjacket. And there's not like a trap door in the thing. You have to actually see it to really fully be appreciated and amazed at the skill of this young lady here. It's amazing.
Wow. Well, I can't wait to see everything that's coming. And
Thank you, Jorge. It's been
this-
awesome to talk to
this
you.
would be great. This would be
Yes,
great.
come down and
So-
see Lady Beast and
That's
me
right.
and my friends.
Yes, and see you soon, everybody. And don't forget, St. Augustine Tonight is coming your way.
Well, let's get along.